It came in a vision, in a flaming pie. You are Beatles with an A, so it came to pass.
I'll buy that one. Paul, this is your song.
Yes, well, it's a lovely tune. Great favourite of my Auntie Gin's, A Taste of Honey.
Do you think that this second Nashville tag is justified?
Well, it depends what you mean by Nashville, but...
Well, rhythm and blues, then. There are lots of groups in Liverpool singing rhythm and blues stuff.
It's a Liverpool kind of rhythm and blues. It's not the genuine thing.
But there are many, many clubs, presumably, in which these people can play.
Oh, thousands of them. Well, 25.
Do you have any idea how many groups there are in Liverpool?
There's approximately 300.
All earning a living?
All earning a living, but 50 that are earning a good living.
Professionals?
Professionals, yes.
Where do you get your affinity for this music? Was it in America? Was it from American recordings? Or was it from British?
Well, I haven't been to America, it's just from the records we've heard. Especially the early American rhythm and blues type records,
Yeah, such as?
Richard, Carl Perkins, Carl Perkins comes west and...
Well, that's a fine definition, but let's get on with the music now. What's the next number going to be?
The next one is one that Paul and I wrote from our LP. It's called Do You Want to Know a Secret? And I bet you do.
Does the musical arranging for the group?
Me? Well, I do. Me, really.
Yes, I do.
I see. Well, look, most of the songs that you sing are original compositions. Which of you composes the song?
That's me again.
Yes, I do.
That's what I call togetherness. Well, look, let's get down to brass tacks. The next number, Thank You Girl, you did write yourself, and who had the original idea?
That's me.
I give up. Let's hear it.
When I was 21 years old, I decided, as per usual, I was chasing money, anything to get me some money extra. And I started booking a church hall called St. Aidan's in Sheffield, which I renamed the Black Cat Club. And just on Fridays only, and it cost me £3, 10 shillings for the Friday night. A new record came called Love Me Do, and a couple of girls said to me, look, what about this record? Nobody bothered about records in those days, because you could hardly hear them. So I booked the Beatles from Brian Epstein on the telephone, and it took us 3 days to negotiate it. I negotiated £85. I never paid that kind of money for anybody in my life, and I came out sweating. I thought, I can always cancel them. If they don't make it, I can cancel them.
Jerry, nice to have you with us. Have you been enjoying the show?
Fabulous, thanks, man.
Good. Well, now I know you're a great mate of the Beatles, so I wondered if you'd care to introduce their next one for us. They're going to do their new record number.
Oh, very good. Yeah, definitely. This is one which I really think is going to be a hit. Hope so, anyway.
A number one like yours?
Oh, yeah. And, I just hope it's going to be a hit, and nothing more I can say except, how do you do it? If you like it. I sincerely hope that this one...
Tell them what it's called, then.
No, not yet. Wait.
Oh.
Sincerely hope this one will go from the number one spot from me to you. Thank you.
The difference, then, I'd say, is that this has got nowhere near the impact. No. For commercial impact, how do you do it's got? I mean, that's obviously, one of these records that just goes bang right into the charts, Actually, I love Cleo Lane's voice. It's marvellous, And the idea behind the song, you know, the lyrics and things, great. But I just don't think it's got the impact, you know, to be a really big hit.
Could be, you're right.
Well, I love her voice and I love the tune, Sneaky Mitch Murray. But the backing, it sounds, the arrangement, you know, it sounds like the tone between making it commercial and giving her a good backing.
Yes.
Well, you can have good commercial backing, but, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da, so you flog to death. You know. Good voice, though. The voice.
You should take up singing. Anyway, we'll play our last.
Vernons Girls.
No, I don't. I've seen them on stage and I don't like their
They're from Liverpool, you know.
I don't care where they come
Jolly
from.
good, you know. No, I think it's fab and, you know, it's the kind of music I like. I think they're drowning them a bit. The girls should have been more powerful. I think the original D.D. Sharp, excuse me, Vernons Girls, you know, you'd hear the voice more. It doesn't matter about the words, but the voice, you know, they lose the power and those kind of songs need the voice.
So you don't think it's going to go?
I think it might, but I don't think it's still too early in old Britain here for that exact and if it goes, you know, lovely.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know, exactly the same. In fact, you know, I made a couple of notes on the nearly the same. The lyrics, you know, they don't come out enough from the backing, but I don't really think it matters because the beat, you know, is one of those, yeah, real rocker, you know, great to dance to.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, I think both of us hope it does for the Vernons Girls because we met them the other night at a party. Marvellous girls, and all I can say is, up the pool.
The Beatles came to Stowe School on Thursday the 4th of April 1963. How do I know it so well? Well, I was actually there. I was that man. The tickets were 5 shillings, although I can't see the price on this, and the concert was organised by a friend of mine called Dave Moores, who lived in Liverpool. He'd seen the Beatles in the Cavern. They had a record at that time which was Love Me Do, and he convinced us all that we ought to, if he booked them, we all ought to buy tickets at 5 shillings a time, which was 25 pence, and come and watch the Beatles, which we did.
We also recommend ourselves from this selfie
and they were fantastic. The amazing thing about the concert was there was almost no screaming at all because it was nearly all boys. The amazing thing about the concert was that the Beatles' fee for the whole concert was in fact £100. But Dave Moores, my friend, who became a very successful businessman, he actually charged us 5 shillings, as I've already said, which was 25p, and so his take for the evening was £150. So he made £50, and the Beatles, with their entourage coming all the way from Liverpool, only made 100. Brian Epstein was an honourable enough person to stand by the agreement he'd made with Dave some months before, and I would point out that Dave Moores was only 16 years old at the time, so he had to get a guarantor to sign the contract. But Brian Epstein stuck to the agreement he'd made and only charged £100.
Hello? Who's on the mic? Oh, number 6. What's it called? Please me. Ready? Go. This is our latest record. Shut up. We got C then. For helping to put this one into the chart. 43. Put it into the chart. So, I'd like to do. We're great at announcing. Oh, they're very kind. You can carry on drinking now.
Well, there you are, an example of the sort of stuff that took the Beatles right up to the top. Now, I know you want some pictures, and I know you want a few odds and ends, so, all right, boys, if we have a few pictures? On cameras, with films. Bless you.
In the early hours of Monday morning, April the 8th, I was taken into the delivery room and told that I was ready to give birth. Both John and I wanted to give our son family names, so we called him John after his father. I suggested Julian because it was as close as we could get to John's mother's name, and we chose Charles after my father. So John Charles Julian Lennon, to be known as Julian. John didn't make it to the hospital until 3 days after our son was born. The first opportunity he'd had to get away from the tour, he came in like a whirlwind, racing through the doors in his haste to find us.
Yeah, I keep looking at him crawling about and throwing me cigarettes on the phone, thinking, where did he come from? You know, you do tend to think a bit when you see them. Love, that's the main thing, you know, he's just got to be happy and know he's wanted. I'm not having any of that boarding school or any sending him away. He's going to be with us all the time, you know.
He held each tiny hand, marvelling at the miniature fingers, and a big smile spread over his face. "Who's going to be a famous little rocker like his dad, then?" he said. It was wonderful to see him, but privacy was impossible. My room had a window onto the corridor outside, and when word got out that he was there, dozens of patients and staff gathered with their noses pressed to the window. The room felt like a goldfish bowl, and it was obvious John couldn't stay long. He hugged me and signed dozens of autographs on his way out.
they played with the Scaffold. Of course, Mike McGear, who was Mike McCartney, Paul's brother, was with that group. And we did a very, very fantastic Good Friday show. It was an 8-hour marathon, and the Beatles topped it, and the Scaffold were on, and various people.
John, he was something else, you know. They were very open and very frank. John was very frank and open.
I mean, they came to see us play. I mean, we were playing a pub, Station Hotel, Richmond. That was our gig, you know. It was the only one we really had. And we're whacking our show out nearby, and everybody having a good time, you know. And so I turn around, and there's these 4 guys in black leather overcoats standing there. And oh, fuck me, look who's here. This was soon after Love Me Do. I mean, this was really early on, you know. I mean, this was late 62, early 63, you know. And, oh, God, they come to check us out, man. And there they were, yeah. And from then on, we've always was good mates.
Yeah, we went to see them at, I believe the place was called Crawd Daddy in Richmond, and also, I think, another place in London. And they were run by a different guy then, Giorgio Gamelski, who also discovered brackets, you know, quotes. And immediately we started hanging around London. The Stones were just up and coming in the clubs then, and we knew Giorgio through Epstein, and we went down and saw them and became good friends.
Hello, Barry Farber. How's about playing on these records? This is the Beatles speaking.
In April 1963, the Beatles appeared at the Royal Albert Hall with an odd little assembly. I love the groups you see on the bills in those days, on the playbills, because there's sort of such an odd mixture. But it was with Shannon, who did that song Runaway, Rolf Harris, who we all know about, Shane Fenton, who then became Alvin Stardust and became sort of briefly famous in the 1970s, and George Melly, the jazz singer. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Anyway, this was the first concert where things had gone completely wild, really screaming, climbing on the roof of their car and blocking the way. And
I told John about it. I said, John, I'm going to, at the Albert Hall. I said, also, John, I'm going to cover From Me to You, because the English were always covering American artists. And when he said, that would be great, mate. But when he walked on stage, just on stage, he turned to me and he said, don't do that. And I did see him after that one time, and he never said anything about it, because they, at the time...
You think he was kidding, or why would he have a legitimate reason not to want you to cover it?
Yeah, I think Brian didn't want anybody to cover any of their songs before they were released in America.
sent along by the Radio Times to interview the Beatles and to cover the concert was the 16-year-old actress who had been in 3 or 4 films by then, Jane Asher. And she was also famous because she was on Jukebox Jury, which was the big kind of pop show. And so the Beatles, when they took it, she was also very pretty, so they took a real interest in her. Then after the concert, they went back to a journalist's house, a very small house, and John, who was quite a bully, especially in early days, started bullying her and upsetting her. Paul then sort of took her to the next door room, and they, in a very sort of sedate fashion, they sat and talked about the Canterbury Tales, which they'd both studied at school. Jane at Queen's College in Harley Street, kind of private school. Paul in Liverpool. Paul, he had a very good English teacher, and so he was interested in English literature.
Another important event at this time was their appearance at the New Musical Express Poll Winners concert at the Empire Pool, Wembley. The Beatles were now established with the musical press readers as an up-and-coming talent in 1963.
In the early 60s, there were lots of Sunday night Jewish charity concerts, or they would be held in nightclubs that you otherwise wouldn't be able to go to on Sunday night, like the Pigalle.
Yeah. No, actually that day, it was April 21st, 1963, it was the Pigalle on Piccadilly.
Yeah.
And the only place it was ever advertised was the Jewish Chronicle. In fact, they came straight there, they went straight there from the Empire Pool, Wembley, where they played in the afternoon. But it was the first time they played in the West End.
It was very exciting because it was a pretty small club, only a few hundred people.
Yeah, and they were number one. They had been number one with Please Please Me, and they were about to go number one with From Me to You. So yes, they were hot by then.
April 1963 is the NME Top 30, and it's the week that the Beatles go to number one with From Me to You. The red oblong indicates that they are a band, as we now know them, a group, as they were a group in those days. Guitars and drums and vocals and all of that, as we know bands. There's only one other band on that chart, and they're number 2, and that's Jerry and the Pacemakers. They're from Liverpool, and they're managed by Brian Epstein as well, so they're part of the Beatles thing. Yeah. And there are no others. None. Four Seasons, where they're a vocal group with session musicians, and Buddy Holly. The Springfields are a folk group, but bands as we know them, when the Beatles came through, they were the first. And people go, oh, there were hundreds of bands in those days. Well, yes, there were, but not like the Beatles. There were shadows-like groups and so on. Yeah. But to be a group like we now know a rock band to be, that the Beatles were the first, or certainly the great popularizer.